Hello folks, welcome to Rhubarb Shed. This is a little video about George, the 1937 BSA Empire Star. We're really just gonna put it back to what it was supposed to be used for, because originally my dad raced this bike with his good friend George, and my dad was on a sidecar. There's a whole big story we're going to tell about his adventures in late 50s, 1960s, and I've got this bike and I want to restore it, bring it back to good health. And I don't know whether you can see me from the side. Yeah, I think there's some work needed here on this 1965 Human. My name's Bob, and I'm hopefully going to bring you some content that will interest you, and let's see where it takes us. I think I should tell you something about this bike that is really important to me, and it is the fact that when my dad and George were racing it, there was a sidecar fitted here when I'm standing, and my dad, his job was to sit on it, and when they were going round a left-hander, his job was to lean out over here somewhere, you know, and there's not much to hang on to. I bet it was hairy. Going round the other bend, he'd have to get out over the top of the mudguard, which we haven't got at the moment. And what happened to him was, during one particular race at Rhydymuin in North Wales, George gunned it down the straight, and I don't think my dad was quite ready. It's not funny, this, by the way. And he sort of came off the back, but the only thing that was touching the bike was his heel, his right heel, and it went into the sidecar wheel, which must have been about here, and the spokes just stripped the flesh off the bottom of his foot, from his heel all the way to the ball of his foot, and it was just peeled down, and it was horrific. And the worst thing about it was, he's dangling off the back of the bike, being slid along behind it with his pleathers rolled up underneath his back, practically on fire, smoke billowing out of them. Everybody in the crowd is shouting, "George, stop the bike!" And he's thinking, "Okay, now they're loving this." So he guns it some more. And of course, when he realised, he was mortified, and they picked my father up and put him in an ambulance, took him to hospital, and they had to operate on him and basically, you know, treat this horrific wound in his foot by rolling it back down and sewing it all back together. And he worked as a mechanic, and I wasn't born then, so it's pre-1965, but he had my two sisters and my brother as practically babies, you know, to look after. And they put him in hospital and stitched his heel to his thigh up here, because there wasn't enough flesh left in the heel to bring the wound together. And after about a week of this, hoping that the flesh would plastically sort of grow onto his heel, it wasn't working, and he couldn't afford to stay off work. So he asked them to, you know, unstitch him, put a bandage on it, and he just went back to work. Oh, can you imagine that? Just going back to work, looking after your family, and forevermore he walked on the ball of his foot because he couldn't put his heel down, and he put a bandage on it every day. It was just awesome. I can't tell you how grateful I am to my dad for doing that for us. And here's his bike, and I want to ride it and enjoy it, and I'm not going to say race it, I'm just going to say gently gun it in honour of my dad and George. You know, I think it'd be a good thing for me too. Got a bit of healing to do, bad heart, prostate troubles, you know, really coming to the recognition that it's time to turn my life around and recognise some nice things that have been done for me. So cheers Dad, cheers George. Well, I did not realise I was going to get emotional then. I think the next thing to do is to talk about how I'm going to go racing, what I'm trying to achieve, you know, time frame. We could have a bit of a laugh by watching me getting those racing leathers on. Oh no! Oh no! And I won't do it. I'll need some tire levers to get the middle bit in. But the aim is to get into the leathers, to get the bike built, and the projects that are going to come out of it are making aluminium mudguards, making an aluminium fuel tank, basically fettling it so that it is reliable and easy to start, so that I can go racing and I can put it in the back of Jeff's camper van and, you know, go up to Prescott Hill climb, and then this year I can set a time, and maybe the year after I can get some weight off me and the bike and go and have another go and try and beat it by 20 seconds or something like that, you know. And all the time being very sympathetic to this 80-year-old engine. You know, it's quite a rarity. It's not priceless or anything, but it does deserve a bit of, you know, a bit of fun. So that's what I'm going to do. And hopefully, you know, the good people who have subscribed to this channel will enjoy watching it. And of course, there'll be all kinds of projects associated with getting some weight off my midriff and making my heart work a bit better. So fitness, diet, motorcycling, fun, and Jeff campervanning. Well, that's the plan for this channel. Hopefully it'll grow some arms and legs and people will want to get involved, because I do think, you know, there's lots of educated people who know stuff about this and what I'm going through, who can help me, and I want your help. I need it, and I think it's going to be great. So come along for the ride. I don't know whether anybody likes this little bike bench, but I designed and made that so I could have it in this little rhubarb shed that I've got, and it's narrow enough so that I can get round it in this small corner. But you know, that needs a bit of modifying as well. I'd like to get a big rubber wheeled starter on the back of it with an electric motor. There's all kinds of things we can get involved in. So if you get involved, I'll take you there. Thank you very much.